Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Sack here, Director of Legal Operations with the Second Amendment Foundation. I have taken a break from shoveling to bring you this week's weekly recap for last week, ending in February 20th, 2026. Let's talk about it. First up in legal news, we filed an important legal brief in a case called Hall v. Sig Sauer. Now, in the case, the plaintiffs have requested the contact and personal identifying information from a whole host of people that purchased firearms from SIG. Now, the court is inclined to provide that information to the plaintiffs even without the individual's notice. Our brief explains that the Second Amendment does provide a privacy interest, and that when you purchase constitutionally protected arms, your contact and private information, personal information, should not then be discoverable in civil lawsuits. You can read the entirety of our amicus brief at the link below and at SAF.org. All right, everybody. Monthly sweepstakes time for the month of February. There's a couple days left. I really recommend you get in on this one if you like shooting stuff with big old bullets. This one brought to us by our really good friends at Ranger Point Precision. Are you down with RPP? Yes, you know me. Here's what you stand to win here. It's an over $3,000 value. First and foremost, it's a Taylor Firearms Ridge Runner, which is a 4570 lever action, but not just any 4570 lever action. It's a breakdown 4570 lever action, so it's easy to snap the bugger in half, throw it in a pack along the side of a pack, and take it up a mountain wherever you're interested in schlepping it. Break it in half certainly makes it easier. It's a really nice weatherproof hard chrome, like a matte chrome finish, and it's got a whole bunch of RPP stuff on it. It's got a really nice 6-shot quiver on there, so the ammo's right on the gun where you want it, and you have a real nice handguard on there. It's a real rad little package, and because you are going to need a few things with you when you go to take that thing up into the mountains to shoot old water heaters, you get a pack from Eberly Stock. It's the little brother. It's a 35-liter pack. It's kind of perfect little day pack size. I'm sure it's got lashing on there to lash that rifle to the side of it. You get 2 boxes of Hornady Lever Evolution ammo that are real spicy little boys. They'll put big holes in things and they move awful fast. And you get a really nice knife from Reef Knives in an RPP sheath with a M-lock attachment, so you could just stick it on your gear, stick it onto a vest or your belt. Great thing to have when you're out in the bush. Maybe you're not shooting water heaters and you're shooting something that might need to be skinned afterwards. I bet that knife would do an awful good job on it doing that. Please check out the sweepstakes at RPP. You can check it out at the link below. Of course, proceeds support us here at Second Amendment Foundation. Big thanks to Ranger Point Precision for supporting us this month. A couple days left. Get in on it, guys. All right, folks, a little bit of bad news, but pretty big silver lining here. So I can tell you that we are now down from 55 active lawsuits all over the country, down to 54. Why is that? Well, because our pistol brace case, yes, our pistol brace case from years ago has now formally been dismissed. And the reason is that the pistol brace rule, as all of you know at this point, was formally vacated nationwide. It is no longer in effect and hasn't been for some time, as these things tend to do. Getting that case that we had called Rainier Arms fully dealt with and formally out of the court system took some time. That has now happened, but here's the good news. We are not going to stay at 54 for long. We are on the precipice of filing a few more major cases that you're going to hear about in the next week or 2 or 3, but we need your help. You can support all of the good work that the SAF litigation team is doing on your behalf at saf.org/give. We are super thrilled that last year, 81% of every dollar that we got, over 81% of every dollar went directly to the mission. We try to do our very best to spend your money the way we would want our money to be spent. Please check us out, support the good work, saf.org/give, become a member, become a supporter, one-time donation, monthly donation, set it up so, send us some money just like you send Netflix money. I'm not as entertaining as Netflix, but I certainly try. Please join. A question that many are asking and that the federal courts all over the country are currently considering is, can non-violent felons, or those convicted of non-dangerous crimes, constitutionally have their Second Amendment rights taken from them? SAF's position, of course, is no, They cannot, that the Constitution only provides for the disarmament of individuals that have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt and through appropriate due process that they are a danger to society. This week, in the Second Amendment Foundation Investigative Journalism Project, the SAF IJP, our own intrepid Lee Williams has a case and a story for us out of the great state of Florida that addresses this very question. In the case, an individual who had a non-violent felony conviction from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania was caught with a gun in their center console down in Florida. The district attorneys down there brought the case against him, and he was ultimately convicted despite the fact that he argued that the charges were unconstitutional facially and as applied to him because his underlying conviction was not dangerous or violent. Well, now the case is up on appeal, and critically, Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer has now taken the position that he agrees with the defendant in the case that no, this law is not constitutional, and that the appropriate state of Florida state law should not be that nonviolent and non-dangerous convictions should be prohibiting at the state level. So now, with the Attorney General on his side, the defendant will be taking his case up on appeal, and we will see if the courts ultimately decide to side with both the defendant and the lead law enforcement agent in the state, the Attorney General James Uthmeyer, taking the position that this law is in fact unconstitutional. We will have updates for you in this case in future editions of the SAF IJP with Lee Williams. Keep posted. Link below for the full story. For those of you that joined us at our Gun Rights Policy Conference last year, GRPC, or watched it live streaming on the internets, you know that our keynote speaker was Christian Craighead, who we were absolutely thrilled to have, and it was fantastic to meet him and hear what the Second Amendment means to him. He has a really great brand website company that he has started called Ministry of Defense. That is defense with a C in the proper King's English, of course. They have great stuff to make sure that your lifestyle supports the defense of yourself and your lifestyle and your family and your household. And they have been kind enough to put together a little fundraiser to support us here at Second Amendment Foundation. It is a simple little pack of rubber bracelets with some inspirational sayings on them, like "I'll be your huckleberry," of course, from the infamous and famous and much beloved Doc Holliday. 10% of the proceeds of the sales of these bracelets go to us here at Second Amendment Foundation to support our work protecting the Second Amendment. Big thanks to Ministry of Defense with a C. Check them out. They've got great stuff to support all of your needs, and we certainly thank them for supporting us here at SAF. Check them out. Folks, you have made it to the end of the SAF weekly recap for this week. Last week, February 20th, 2026. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. As you may know, at the end of the weekly recap every week, we do a highlight of one of our 50-plus cases of active litigation that we are fighting on your behalf and on my behalf all over the country. This week is one of the 5 cases that we are currently presenting to the Supreme Court and petitioning for them to take up on certiorari. The case is Schoenthal v. Raoul. Is it the most fun case name to say of the 5 cases before the Supreme Court? I think it is. This case comes out of Illinois, where that state has enacted a mass transit carry ban. That means that even if you are a permitted concealed carrier in the great state of Illinois, you cannot carry your gun anywhere near a mass transit facility, or certainly on mass transit. That creates a big problem to lots of folks who use mass transit to get home, to get to work, to get anywhere that they might go, and violates their right to carry in public because there is no historical tradition of banning the carry of firearms on mass transit. This thing is unconstitutional. We are presenting that very argument to the Supreme Court as we speak. Briefing is still underway, but should wrap up in the next few weeks, hopefully. We're all keeping a close eye on Schoenthal v. Raoul. Check out our case page on saf.org. You can check out and set an alert for the Supreme Court docket so you can get alerts at the same time that we do. Thank you, everyone, for following along. For the SAF Weekly Recap for this week, February 20th, 2026, I am Bill Sack, Director of Legal Operations with the Second Amendment Foundation. See you next week.